When there is something to be done, they never hesitate to volunteer to work. Becoming a Federationist has truly been a blessing for me and to our monastery. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we ask your blessing on all the officers of the National Federation of the Blind, especially President Mark Riccobono and all of his associates. At this time, we ask you to grant special blessings to all of the leadership of the New Jersey affiliate, President Joe Ruffalo, Vice Presidents Linda Melendez and Mary Jo Partica, Secretary Ellen Sullivan, Treasurer Andrew Rees, Board members Anne Marie Cook, Linda DeBardinis, Jane Degenshine, Mary Fernandez, V. Gaspa, and Zoraida Krell. Lord, we ask you to bless all of the various chapter presidents and board members and all of the federations of New Jersey and throughout the country. We ask you also to bless all who have worked so hard in organizing and conducting this convention, all of the speakers and presenters, and we ask that you bless the food we are about to receive and to bless all those who have prepared it. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father Max. Let's give it up for Father Max. How's everybody doing out there? Are you having a good convention? I really can't hear you up here. Are you having a good convention? The worst thing about going last as master of ceremonies is that between Joe and David and now the father, everybody's taking my jokes. But I do have a couple left. There was a couple, speaking about the father, right, that was married. They were having a very rough time. And they weren't talking to each other. And they took a ride. And they weren't talking, and they saw a mule. And the husband said to the wife, "Is that a relative of yours?" And she said, "Only through marriage." I had a lot more, but like I said, they took them all. So this is the highlight of our convention, always our banquet. And we are very excited about this great convention. This is also a great time of year. Monday is Veterans Day. And we want to give a great hand to all our veterans, including our president, Joe Ruffalo. Very special time for me, too. Both my mother and father were veterans. And I'll be at Jersey Shore this week, visiting the cemetery on Monday for that reason. Also, in 2 weeks, Liz, when it comes in 2 weeks, I know we're having turkey tonight. I don't understand what a president Ruffalo we're having turkey for dinner. Even David said, "Where's the raviolis?" But whatever. Or whatever. We have a lot to be thankful for. And we have to remember that. You know, there's an acronym called YOLO. Does anybody know what that stands for? You only live once. Well, I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. You don't live once. Unfortunately, you die once, and we're all going to go there. But you live every day. And in the Federation, we have to remember that. That when we wake up and have a pulse, we get up and we do what we need to do, and we live every day to its fullest. So when you hear that you only live once, tell them, no, that's not right. We live every day in this Federation. Right? And we have Thanksgiving coming up, and we have a lot to be thankful for. And then after that, what comes the month after that? Christmas. And Christmas is about what? Giving, right? So when we start doing the auctions tonight, don't forget to give. And I know Jane's sitting here with David, so that's going to be a hot table right here to my left. And Jane, you got a phone call, so I don't know what that's about. But anyway, let's enjoy your salad. Let's enjoy your lunch, your dinner. And we'll talk to you in a few minutes. I want to see who was with me. The president's asked me to tell you there is a cash bar at the back of the room, and it will stay open until about 8:15 tonight. Once we go live streaming, that's it for the booth. I'm sorry, 17. Until we start the program, there is a cash bar here in the room if you are interested.
What?
So David said I should tell another joke. No? Come on. So these four guys are playing golf. And the guy's about to tee off on the 10th hole. And there's a funeral procession coming down the road. And he takes his hat off and he puts it by his heart. And the other three guys say, "We didn't know you had that in you." He said, "I was married about 42 years." The other thing is, being the president of a division, I appreciate what our guests put our state presidents do. We have three here tonight. Joe, Sean, great travel and promote the federation, all that kind of stuff. It's really nice. do that. Get the word out. Dr. Davis talked about our city blast, which wasn't so many. We had over 200 people. We had 29 states here in New Jersey representing that. At our blast conference, and we also got mini blast was that we partnered with our students division. And we had 4 students there that learned what Randolph Shepherd was all about. And we're going to continue that relationship and make that stronger. And we're excited about that. In our last conference next year, business leadership and superior training is what BLAST stands for. So that we'll be in Chicago at the Hyatt Regency downtown, April 14th to the 17th. And we have $29 to get that kind of rate downtown in Chicago for that time of year, doing something special. But one of the great things about being a president of an organization that travels so much, you go to Hawaii, and the great thing in Hawaii is they greet you with aloha, mahalo, so sweet, so nice, right? And I was just in Texas. What do they say in Texas? Howdy! And then you come back to New Jersey, what do you say? Forget about it. How you doing? It's so bad the rap that we get, you know? I mean, the economy couldn't be better, could it? Could the economy be better? I mean, just a month, they just hired 3 new judges here in New Jersey. They're grown as a baby.
Can I be of any to know?
Thank you very much for joining there. And again, the dance bar is open, so another maybe 1 hour or so. We'll be starting, you'll be low serving of food. Understood? No cleaning of dishes. Understood? All right. And well, start talking if that's not. Well, thank you very much. Thomas, your phone, please. Door prize, go ahead, hurry up. No, you make it. Lolita? Here?
Take those, just take those out. Laurel,
Okay, take off from where you are. Left right off. What about eat on weddings? Ryan Stevens, are you here?
Just to give everybody a heads up that the head bar will be open in about 12 minutes. 12 minutes, last call for alcohol.
Sorry, no, my bad.
This is last call. Okay, if we can get started, and have your attention. Did everybody enjoy their meal? Is everybody having a good time?
If I touch this, he's gonna be so mad if I touch
I have to. If you want to.
Next is Judy and Joe Ruffalo. Our national rep, Sean Calloway, and his lovely 4-year-old daughter and his wife. And it's so great to have a 4-year-old sitting at the head table. It makes me feel good. Let's give her a big hand. Then we have our president from the state of Pennsylvania, Lynn Heights. And our first vice president, Linda Melinda, is here.
Yes.
The highlight of every convention is our banquet speech from our national rep. It is an honor and pleasure for me to introduce our national rep, Sean Calloway, our president from Washington, D.C., who came up to be with us this weekend.
Melendez.
We actually hosted myself,
I need a table
DC
because
affiliate,
they moved
Arizona,
the table.
Tennessee, and Hawaii. We hosted the national convention a few years ago. And so John Fritz called me and said, "Look, Sean, you need to call Nikki if you want some refreshments for the hospitality
I
room."
need something.
And I tell you, that's one less thing I had to worry about. So I got a letter for John to give to Nikki, and I'm gonna tell you, he and the blind merchant hooked us up. And that was one full hospitality room with some nice goodies, and I was one less stressed person. But Nikki has helped out a lot of people, quite honestly. So not just myself. So I just want to acknowledge him for all his hard work. I want to get to my dear friend Joe Ruffalo. I first took over the DC affiliate. We had 0 divisions. We had maybe 40 people. And I was trying to figure out how am I going to build this affiliate. And I remember talking to someone and expressing these feelings I had. They said, "You need to look up north." I said, "So where up north?" He said, "You need to look at the Jersey affiliate. That affiliate got it going on." I said, "Well, who's president?" He said, "Joe Ruffalo." So I contacted Joe by email, and I'm gonna tell you, he responded quickly. But he does this with everyone. All affiliate presidents, anyone who needs help, he's always there. But I tell you one thing, Joe and I work together. we were charged by President Rick Obono to work on a particular division together. And I took a seat back and I watched Joe work. He led with compassion. He led with honesty. We had a serious situation at our national convention where we were running elections. And I mean, Joe was on fire. I mean, he handled those elections. I'm telling you, it was very contentious. Very contentious. But like a man, he handled it. And he did what he had to do. And from that point on, I mean, even before then, I've always admired Joe. But working with him, it was just amazing. And Joe, I respect you quite highly, my friend. I don't know if you know that. When you told me you were stepping down, wasn't a shocker to me after 20-something years, right? But sometimes good things must come to an end. But when you can end on your own terms, that's even better. And Joe had made a statement. I'm going to get on to my speech, but he made a statement saying basically he doesn't know how certain presidents can get along, move along, and do the work without their spouse. Right? That's a very, being an affiliate president is a lot of work. Right? And Joe has done a lot of work in his affiliate, but he would not be able to do the work he's done without you. Like I said, I want to deliver a message, but I want you to understand the messages before I give my message, which is one about an organization that was found but never lost, and the Breakfast Club. Back in 1990, I was a young man trying to find himself, just very about to graduate from high school, and very frustrated with how things were going on where I was living. I was living in an area called Prince George's, which is outside of Washington, D.C. During that time, and you could look it up yourself, there was a bad time of killing of African American men, right? Because of the drug trade that was going on. The crack epidemic hit D.C. area pretty bad. And it didn't matter. You didn't have to deal drugs, right, to get shot. You just didn't. You could be walking down the street and you were a target, especially if you had on something nice or a nice coat. And this was very unsettling to me. So I made up my mind to go to college, but I decided to go to college down south. So I packed my bags and headed on down to South Carolina State University and started my college career. But during my sophomore year, I was in my dorm room. The guy came into my dorm room and the gun went off. And he hit me in the choke. This caused me to be blind for the rest of my life. So the very reason why I went down south, I was coming back home, right? To avoid something like that. So for a few years, I was really depressed. It was just unnerving. Just didn't know what to do with my life. So finally, after a couple years, I received some help from the Department of Rehabilitation Services in Maryland. And they would come out to my house and provide some rehab services, and teach me how to walk around my neighborhood. This seemed unfulfilling to me. And the counselor knew that. So she said, Sean, I'm going to send you away, right? I want to give you an opportunity to go away to a place called the Maryland Rehabilitation Center. Now, it's called Workforce Technology Center now, which is in Baltimore, Maryland, right? But I said, you know what? It beats being here, right? Because I need to do something with my life. Nothing's going on. I got a younger brother and sister I need to be a better example for, so I'm going to go ahead and go. So when I get there, I'm greeted by a blind man named Lou Smith. So Lou says, I'm going to be the one who's going to teach you your independent living skills. So when he says this, and him being blind, I'm like, interesting. Very interesting. So our first assignment was to go and do an O&M session down the block. So we're walking down the block. So he said, Sean, we're going to cross this street. So I'm looking at him and basically saying to myself, how the hell is this going to go? So I'm thinking as the cars go by,
Something to
way
put
the
up
flow
to where
of
it's
traffic is
pushing
going
against
here.
this. Just kind of.
If I do this, if we walk across the street, he's in the inside of me. So if a car comes, it will get him first. But when I walked across that street finally with him,
What's up?
it was the most exhilarating
Dealing with a
feeling
bit of
one
an
man
emergency.
can have.
Dealing with an emergency at the moment. Be up in bed.
At that point, I decided I wanted to go back to college.
Huh? What's the matter?
But I also decided at
The
that
stream.
point, I did not want to deal with any blind organization.
Be up in bed.
Which, by the way, was one of my biggest mistakes I ever made at that time. So I went back to college, got an associate's degree at Essex Community College in Essex, Maryland. Decided to transfer to University of Maryland at College Park. And during my first year, I was at College Park. I was standing outside of one of my classes. A woman came up to me and she said, "Excuse me, have you heard of the National Federation of the Blind?" Can't say I have, but tell me about it. She said, "Well, we help people. We do things." I said, "Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
Tell me when was your organization founded?" I think 50 something. I said, "Okay." See, I tell this to people all the time. When you don't know your history of your organization, you lose me right there. You lose me off the break. I said, "Okay, look, I'm gonna do this. You just give me your number, and I'll call you." So I went back to my dorm, and there was another blind gentleman who actually stayed in my dorm. And I said, "Pete, have you heard of the National Federation of Blind?" He said, "Yeah, you don't want to deal with them." He said, "Them some radical folks." That's exactly what he said. Yep. That's not you, Sean. I said, "Okay, fine." Oh, second mistake I made, listening to somebody, listening to Pete, right? So going on to grad school, I had a lot of trials and tribulations in grad school, right? One of the biggest was, I was a social work student, by the way. And so we had to do what we call field practice, right? And so I had to go on a field practice at a nursing home, right? But I went to this nursing home with a type and speak. Okay, now for those of you who are tech savvy, a type and speak is nothing more than a word processor. You need more than a word processor to be a social worker. You need the whole kabang, right? That's all I had. And I was doing miserable with this type of speak because I did not understand what we call reasonable accommodations. Right? Neither did the nursing home and neither did the school I attended. So I struggled big time. Now, if I were a federationist at the time, I don't think I would have had any struggles, quite honestly. I'd have made a phone call and hopefully things would have been straightened out. But no, I struggled big time. And so when I did my practicum and basically they told me, "Look, I got to leave this nursing home because it's not working here." I ended up going to a center called the Blind and Aged in Washington, D.C. And I ran into a woman after I introduced myself to the staff. A woman came up to me. She said, "Excuse me, sir, have you heard of the National Federation of the Blind?" I said, "Yeah, I have, but never got a full story. But will you enlighten me?" She said, "Well, my name is Linda Black, and I'm the president of the Greater Washington, D.C. chapter. And I would like to invite you to a meeting." I said, "Okay, well," I gave her my number, and for 8 years she called, and I never showed up to her. But keep this in mind, she continued to call, which is another lesson for you all. If the person does not say, "Don't call me no more," you continue to recruit them because you don't know what you're gonna get, right? So after graduating from grad school, I remember in 2002, I'll never forget this, I decided to leave my job with Catholic Charities as a social worker. I was working at the homeless shelter. And so I got an opportunity, a job interview with the Department of Behavioral Health. And they asked me some questions about my ability to do my job. So I explained to them. So they said, you know, what I can do and what I can't do, and all that other stuff. But she said, well, what we're going to do, we're going to give you an assistant. And I knew right there, something didn't sound right about that, right? But the money was talking. So I took the money. I mean, it's a $7,000 raise. I'll deal with an assistant. All day. But quite honestly, this became a problem because she became a crutch, right? An enabler. I didn't do anything for myself, right? She would go out and get my lunch. If I say, take my notes, send my emails, you know, it looked beautiful, but something just wasn't right. And I could be honest, as time went on, I noticed that my skills were dwindling, like my O&M skills, my AT skills. That it was getting worse and worse because of this assistant. Now, luckily, during this time, I met my beautiful wife, LaTanya. Right. And so, as we started to move along in our relationship, I decided, you know, I want to get married. I want to marry her. Right. So I got married. We got married in 2005. Right. So, but after marriage, you know, there are questions that pop up. Now, those questions are, one of the main questions was, when are you going to have children? Right? But when I heard this question, I would always get nervous. I would always get discombobulated, as they say, right? Because I had fear of being a blind parent. I had these fears of being, I just felt that I didn't have the ability, to be a blind parent. So as the years went on, and I would say for 3 or 4 years, having these feelings, having dwindling AT skills and O&M skills, and my wife made a great point today, if y'all heard her speak, about how when we got together, she made a statement on how I had it made, right? Right? In terms of kicking my feet back and letting her do all the work, right? But this was a problem, right? Because when you don't contribute to the home, you know, it can get unsettling. So I never forget, I talked to a buddy of mine, and I was telling him my issue. He said, look, Sean, are you familiar with any blind groups? So I said, well, yeah, this woman named Linda Black continued to call me and invite me to a National Federation of the Blind meeting. So she said, he said, you know what, you need to go. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go. So when I went to this meeting, the first meeting was at, I'll never forget, Campbell Heights Senior Center. I walked in the door, the assistance of Metro Access, which is paratransit. I ran it. The first person I ran into was a woman, blind woman, with 2 children, taking them to the bathroom. I was like, wow. So then I go back into the meeting room, and I hear 2 federations talking about emailing one another. I'm like, damn, what is this about? And then the keynote speaker was a woman from, and I forget what federal agency, but she was talking about how they set up accommodations for blind people to work independently within the federal government. I'm like, man, what the hell have I been missing? So that day, I joined the National Federation of Blind. What made me, the fire under me the most was the advocacy. Right? That's what I love the most, hearing about the advocacy that the organization has done over the years than they were doing in DC, and that really lit my fire to the point. I hit the ground running. I joined in 2009, and I got a call maybe a year later from the nominations committee chair, and she said, "Would you like to join the board?" I said, "Yeah, give me a board seat. It don't matter to me." She said, "Well, no, I'm not asking you for to take the board seat. I'm asking you to be president of the chapter." I said, "Well, this just what?" That's why I was like, I kind of looked at my phone like, "Really?" They were like, "Yeah, we want you to be the president." So I took the job, right? I said, okay, so everything was going well. And so one day I was summoned to the home of one Don Galloway. Don Galloway was the president of the DC affiliate at the time. And he said, "You know what, Sean, I've been watching you." And he said, "I think you have the ability to be the affiliate president." Now, at this time, I said, this didn't make sense to me because from what I've been reading, a lot of affiliate presidents, they stay in their position a long time. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, but the part about it was that it was this, and I didn't know it until later on, that Don was dying. He was dying of cancer. He was dying of cancer. And so for him to call me, well, no, Joe's fine. But Don was dying, right? And it was heartbreaking to see, in a sense, a man who had given so much deteriorate like that. But when he tapped me to basically be the president of the affiliate after 2 years, only being in the organization for 2 years, it was an honor, right? It was a big honor for this man to see this much potential in me. So I took the job, right? Yeah. Took the job. And, I never looked back, but one of the things, one of my biggest accomplishments being affiliate president at the time is the birth of my daughter. Camille is a special child, meaning that she is very knowledgeable and aware of her surroundings, right? I remember, man, it's about a year or so ago, I went to take her to school. And I walked into a class, and this was the first time I was meeting a teacher. And she said, "Miss Brown, this is my daddy." Right? She said, she said, "Miss Brown, this is my daddy. He is blind, but he can do anything anybody else can do." She said that. And of course, I choked up a little bit, and but that's my rule, dog. There, no one's gonna tell me that I can't raise my child. That's not gonna happen, you know. But she's awareness for the federation. Our daughter comes to the meetings. She's very helpful at 4 years old. So I want to thank the Federation, right, for my confidence. I would not be able to be a blind parent and a confident blind parent without the Federation. Plain and simple. Camille.
She's got her earphones on.
Daddy, I've heard this before. I've been to a couple conventions.
That's amazing.
I want to put my headphones on. Tanya, real quick. You take a headphone off. Come here, Daddy. Come here. Daddy wants you. Come here. Come here. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Camille. This one here is helping dispel all the misconceptions about blindness and being a blind parent. She is just amazing. She allows Daddy to do what he needs to do to be a parent, and she trusts me, and that's the key. She trusts Daddy. Don't you trust Daddy? She said her head yes. Say yes, okay. And I just want to thank you for trusting Daddy, okay? And I love you very much. So that leads me to the Breakfast Club. For those of you who don't remember, back on September 4th, there's a very popular show called The Breakfast Club, who had a segment on this show which dealt with, I guess, people who wanted to call in with their frustrations about life. So a young lady called in who happened to be blind, and she said, by the way, it is a radio show for those who don't know, and it's very popular. I mean, millions of people listen and watch this show. Okay, so a blind young lady called in, and she says, you know what, I'm frustrated because there are people who, when I tell them I'm a babysitter, they won't allow me or won't give me the opportunity to babysit their kids, right? So the host of the show, one named DJ Envy, other one named Solomon the God, says, well, you know, her name was Chelsea. Well, Chelsea, I wouldn't allow you to watch my child either. And so she said, why? He said, because you're blind, right? And so, as this, now I'm like tripping when I'm hearing this, because I'm literally, I'm quite honestly, just to let y'all, I was the first federationist to hear this. I was the very first one, because once I heard it, I then turned to President Rick Bono and said, this was what happened on the Breakfast Club. But anyway, and so, can I hold this? Can I hold this? Okay. I feel like a singer now. So as the show goes on, they said, well, we want callers to call in. Would you allow a blind person to babysit your child, right? Now, of course, you have all these callers calling in basically saying, hell no, no way. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. But what upset me the most was that you didn't ask callers to call in who are blind, who watch their children, right? It became a big joke to them, right? But again, the people who called in were your average, everyday worker. I mean, these are two DJs who are millionaires who have this misconception about blind people being able to watch children, right? But when you look back at it, you can't get too upset. And I'm gonna tell you why. Hear me out on this one. You could tell that these two young men have never been around blind people. They've never been exposed to blind parents. So then when you talk about being a babysitter of their children, they're going to react the way they did, right? And what this told me is that this is why the Federation is important. To bring awareness to ignorance. To bring awareness to dispel the misconceptions and assumptions about blind people in general. Ladies and gentlemen, it is all hands on deck. We got a job to do, right? We got a job to do. Because if they were thinking this way and putting that stuff out there in the media, in airwaves, who was listening to them? Social workers, right? Judges, all kinds of folks. I want to say this. One of the things, and I mentioned this earlier, I never forget being in a national convention, and a person came to me, she said, Sean, you know, I don't feel I'm giving meaningful contribution to the Federation. I said, tell me, why do you feel that way? Well, I'm a you know, single mom who has a full-time job, in school part-time. I'm only able to give my dues, pay my dues. I participate in a few fundraisers, but that's all I'm able to do. I said, that don't sound like you're not contributing to me. That sounds like you're doing what you have to do to help the organization, right? When you give, that doesn't matter if it's $5 for your dues or $10, whatever they are, or if you're giving $200 a month to the PAC plan. Contribution is contribution. Doesn't matter. You know, we can go back to the civil rights movement. Everyone, right, played their part. There were people who only sat behind voter registration tables. There were people who only helped other individuals get to rallying sites. There were people who only marched. Let's be clear on this. Martin Luther King was a great man, but he couldn't have done it by himself. Let's be clear. And one thing I love about President Riccobono and also Dr. Malwa, when he was he's immediate past president, of course, they made it clear they can't do their job without the membership. They made it. They said that, right? So there's no such thing as a meaningless contribution. Anything you do within his organization is extremely important. I always think about one Scott LaBar. When Scott was sort of applauded for helping a blind man get into school to be a chiropractor, Scott deflected that credit off the break. And he thanked two kinds of people. He thanked the Federationists that came before him, but more importantly, he thanked the candy sellers, right? He thanked the people who sell candy bars. That's how important everyone is to the movement. A movement needs everyone. You can't have too many generals and not enough corporals. Just can't. So I just want to let you all know, and I think this affiliate, look, you know, the one thing I love about the Federation is this: we don't put other affiliates down. We don't put other chapters down. You know, we don't go around rallying who's the best and all this and that, right? But if you put me in the corner and you said to me, tell me, who would you put in your top 5 in terms of affiliates? It would be the Jersey affiliate. Yeah. But I'm serious. I mean, this is one of the. I mean, this affiliate is something else. It's a well-oiled machine. This is what it is. It runs well, and of course, leadership starts at the top. It starts at the top. And so, again, Joe, phenomenal job what you've done with this affiliate. One thing I know, I was told, and I'm gonna sit down because someone had warned me they don't want a long, drawn-out speech. Okay, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But one thing Joe does, and I notice, everyone has value to him in this affiliate. As a leader, you have to value everyone, from the new member to the member who's been in this organization for 20 years. I can tell everyone means the same. He loves everybody in this affiliate. And this is why it's running so well. I want to conclude by saying this too. I failed to thank a couple people. First of all, I want to acknowledge Scott and Jim White. Now, let me say this. The staff members at the national office, they're the reasons why the affiliates run the way they do, right? Now, keep in mind, Scott is head of Newsline. This has been a big recruiting tool to bring in federationists. In order for us to use that tool, Newsline has to work well. And Scott makes it work very well, right? He does a damn good job with the Newsline, and I'm just thankful for him. And of course, Jen, I mean, she's a little salty with me because I don't be turning in my donated services forms. And I'm gonna get her out, but she's the right-hand woman to Patricia Mauer and just keeps all of us on task before we go to conventions especially. And I'm just grateful to both of them for their hard work. Also want to acknowledge Carol Castellano. I took over as president. I actually called her, and I can't remember what it was for, but I'll never forget, but I was at the Martin Luther King Library. I had to get some information. Matter of fact, Joe told me to call her, right? And because he didn't know the answer. He said, well, call Carol Castellano, I'll give you a number. Okay, fine. So I called her, and she knew Don Galloway, actually. And so we just talked. And she talked about expectations of being a leader and talked about the Federation and talked about parents of blind children. And next thing you know, the library was closed. That's how long we talked. But I'll never forget, she gave me, I made a speech a couple years ago. She came over and found me and gave me one of the biggest hugs and said, great job. And I will never forget that as long as I live. So, ladies and gentlemen, this affiliate, it just dawned on me in coming up here. It means a lot to me. Right? Many of you in this room have helped me a lot. And I'm just very thankful to you. I'm thankful to you for hosting my family. My daughter participated in a science event yesterday. So this has been great. So again, ladies and gentlemen, let's go build the Federation. God bless you and take care.
Wow, great stuff. Now, I've been in this affiliate a long time. I've heard a lot of banquet speeches, both national, state, and even my own. But that was the best one I've ever heard. That was great. Sean, I have a gift for you. We talk about we talk about the Federation and who came before us. So in Jersey, most of the time, we talk about who's your Mount Rushmore favorite ball players or favorite movies and things like that. So we have photoshopped on Mount Rushmore our 4 presidents for your office. So you
Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
You got it, buddy. Can Carol come up? Oh, well, let's get a picture.
Photo op?
Yeah, photo op. Oh, Bear's there. Okay, right here?
Which way?
Oh, yeah, right. This way.
Fuzzy Pickle. I got one more shout out. I want to shout out to my man David Vinatieri. Dave actually interviewed me on a podcast, and he was phenomenal. He's a phenomenal speaker. My goodness, I mean, New Jersey has a lot of phenomenal speakers anyway, but this dude is phenomenal. And I just want to acknowledge him and his lovely wife as well. Thanks.
For those of you who know Gerald Higgins, that's Gerald Higgins' brother is David Vinatieri. As Carol's coming up, let me tell you a quick story. I was working one day with Geraldine. Her mom came, she came in, she goes, Joe, my mom sent you eggplant. Oh, I love eggplant. Beautiful. Joni, baby, beautiful. I call her on the phone. I says, Joni, baby, beautiful. Eggplant's gorgeous. It's delicious. Her comment was this. I told Geraldine to throw it out or give it to Joe. We've had it for 3 days. Throw it out that top building or give it to Joe. That's the love Joe has for me. Throw it out and give it to Joe. Hey, Jane, come on up. Jane.
She's not a call, Joe.
That's a story for another day. We need more excitement in this affiliation.
Okay, it is time. It's time for our award ceremony. But before we give the awards, I would like to just say a few words about our dear friend, Barbara Shallett, who passed away this week. Joe mentioned it before that she passed. Barbara was a Braille teacher extraordinaire. She made sure that her students learned not only the Braille code, but also how to type, how to read charts and graphs, and she truly wanted her kids to gain full tactile literacy. In a recent issue of our magazine Future Reflections, our magazine for parents and teachers, there's an article that Barbara wrote on how to develop this skill in blind children. Barbara was the very first person my family met when Serena came home from the hospital as an infant. She came from the Commission for the Blind to start Serena's training in her blindness and independence skills. And so she has been in our lives for Serena's whole life. And we became colleagues and friends, as I know many in this room also did. And we would meet once a month at the diner, and we would discuss ideas and inventions and issues in the blindness field. Barbara was a true friend of the Federation and of parents and teachers of blind kids. She presented workshops at the state and national level. She helped plan Parents of Blind Children events. She taught the Braille course at the College of New Jersey to train teachers. She co-edited our Sounding Board newsletter for years. And she taught Braille at our Bill program. And I'm probably missing some of the many things that she did for us. And she continued to volunteer in countless ways to assist blind children and adults in the state. And she will be profoundly missed. So can we just have a moment of silence in Barbara's memory? Thanks. Okay, and now we're going on to the 2019 Raising Expectations Award. I am so happy to present this year's award this evening. This award was created to honor the work of extraordinary members of our own affiliate. This is only the 4th time we have presented it. The recipient of our special award this year is someone who has worked on behalf of the blind of New Jersey and the nation for almost 50 years. And believe it or not, he's still really young. I'm sorry, he or she. Our recipient has been a longtime member, officer, and leader, not only in our affiliate, but also in 3 others. The list of accomplishments of our recipient is long and remarkable. During the recipient's term as president of the Connecticut affiliate, he or she helped raise $150,000 from corporations and foundations for the establishment of Newsline. In our own state, Our recipient has held many positions, most notably as a member of the affiliate board of directors and as a member and president of his or her chapter. Also as a knowledgeable representative and team leader at the NFB's annual Washington seminar, and as an active and valuable member of many committees. Our recipient also represents NFBNJ on the State Rehabilitation Council, currently serving as chair. Our recipient's exemplary career includes technology and administrative positions at IBM, DeWitt and Associates, I Can Connect at the College of New Jersey, the Computer Center for Visually Impaired People at Baruch College, and as technology consultant in B&F Teaching and Technology. Now, by now, you might have guessed that our recipient is a he. And some of you might even have guessed his name. Our recipient grew up in Ocean Township with his brother and sister, who are here with us tonight. He was educated in public schools with services from the New Jersey Commission for the Blind. And you won't be surprised at the list of his school, community, church, and leisure time activities. Wrestling, cross-country, skiing, biking, watching the Yankees, reading, hanging out at the beach, serving in many roles at his church, including, of course, singing in the choir, and playing keyboard in a rock band. Along with his lovely wife, our recipient loves spending time with family and friends, hosting a monthly church book club in their home, and traveling. My first memories of meeting our recipient involved gathering around the piano at National Convention and harmonizing our unofficial state song, Under the Boardwalk, at state conventions. Over the years, our recipient became an inspiration, a role model, a trusted mentor, and a friend to our family, always willing to share his experience, expertise, and thoughtful advice. Our recipient is a remarkable person, and my guess is that virtually everyone in this room has been a beneficiary of his generous spirit, his thoughtful analysis of issues, and his wonderful laugh. I can't remember one time he ever said no to anything we've asked of him, including when I asked him to appear on stage in a grass skirt and coconuts. It would be impossible to count the number of people he has assisted, and we are all enriched by his presence in our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of this year's Raising Expectations Award is Rick Fox. As Rick makes his way to the podium, I'd like to read the words of the plaque we are presenting to him. The National Federation of the...
You're right. He's always right.
The National Federation of the Blind of New Jersey, Live the Life You Want, You Make It Happen, presents the Raising Expectation Awards to Rick Fox in recognition of invaluable contributions to the quality of life of the blind of New Jersey and the nation. Your contribution is measured not in steps, but in miles, not by individual experiences, but by the impact you have had on the lives of the blind. Whenever we have asked, you have answered. We call you our colleague with respect. We call you our friend with love. Together with love, hope, and determination, we transform dreams into reality. November 9th, 2019, from the grateful members of the National Federation of Blind.
It is humbling and a great gift to receive recognition from people that I love and respect, and from an organization who has been a second family to me for over 40 years. This organization has the values that I learned from my family. The pursuit of excellence, high expectations, hard work, but as only the Federation can, it has taught me the beauty of a loving community and the importance of giving back when people have helped me so much when I needed it. So we are an optimistic organization. And as Sean has said, when we encounter problems, we don't just gripe, we figure out how to solve them. And we have faith that our hard work will eventually produce results. And that is optimism and realism in the best mix. And so I thank all of you for your respect. I love and respect you all. And remember, with love, hope, and determination, we will work together and we will make our dreams come true. Thank you very much.
So, 1 second. So Carol said that the theme song for New Jersey was Under the Boardwalk. So prophetically, after we practiced it at my home a couple of Sunday mornings with bagels, this verse is for Rick. Let's see if I can remember it now. We dedicate this song to our very special honoree. For almost 50 years, he's shown love to the NFB. It's Rick Fox, our go-to guy. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Now here's why. Everybody say Rick Fox. Ready? And Rick Fox, he's always ready to go. Rick Fox, with any techie demo. Rick Fox, his music really rocks. Rick Fox, thinks in or out of the box. Rick Fox, Rick Fox.
Now, you heard Jane sing that song. No. You heard him say, her say, think outside the box. Rick, I have for you a box with a brain on it, so you think outside the box. Now, another gift I have for you, Rick did not retire after he taught me some technology. It was a challenge for Rick to teach me some technology. That's funny, Larry. For well, Rick, little do you know, and this gift bag is my 1996 Type and Speak with tactile dots on it for you to keep. The battery's dead, but I'm alive. Thank you, Rick. Let's hear it for Rick Fox. Leah, come on forward. Leah, yeah. Now, we're going to have some scholarship awards, and Ellen gets some auction stuff ready. To pay for this, we need to raise some money. That works. Oh, David, you know that. Tomorrow at our Sunday meeting, tomorrow Tomorrow's meeting will be in this room. Breakfast will be in this room. Tomorrow we'll give you a choice of time to start the meeting.
8:45.
8:45 or 8:45. Pick one. 8:45? All right, 8:45. Where is she sitting?
6:30.
And then we'll call. Yeah, that's what I'm talking to you. Talk to them. Well, the family.
Good evening, Federation family. Can we hear me? Cool. Okay. I'm going to try to not do the thing that I keep hearing everybody grumble about, which is talk very loudly, which all of the EDGE students and staff in the room know is not a problem I ever have. If I can get all the scholarship recipients up here at the podium.
Get your cameras ready, Mom and Dad.
Oh, that's my phone. Sorry.
Yes, cameras ready, take lots of pictures. My makeup looks fantastic. So, you know, if you, just in case. Yeah.
Facing audience.
Okay, so I am incredibly proud of this year's scholarship class. But before I go on about all their fantastic accomplishments, I do want to just speak very briefly, and I mean real brief, not Leah brief, about how important it is to support the scholarship recipients and to contribute to the scholarship. For those of you who heard David and I speak the other day, you got to hear me wax poetic about how the scholarship is how we build the Federation. This is an investment in the future of the organization, and it is remarkably important that we continue to support this. Scholarship fund is how the Federation continues to grow. And for the first time in my life on one subject, that is all I will say. So, yeah, brevity is not, you know, the strong suit of mine. So, all right. So, with that, so I will get started with introducing you to the class, the scholarship class of 2019. So, the first recipient. So I will say, for those of you who don't know, I am an EDGE staff member. And so I happen to know a few of these students through the EDGE program. Don't worry, I am not biased, of course. I would have given me all the money. But it does mean that I've gotten to watch a lot of these students grow in really amazing ways. So the first scholarship recipient is someone that I came to know in the last year. And she, oh, I should have done the they thing. No, yeah, whatever. Here we are. So I have seen tremendous growth in this person in the last year. And while I am certainly not, I am a social worker. So things like math and science were not ever my strong suits, and I deeply admire anyone who, you know, who can manage. No, I mean, who really likes it. It's not. No, it's not just managing. It's not just managing. I could manage math, sort of, but no, people who have a passion for the STEM fields. I deeply admire, especially young women, because I know the STEM field is not an easy place for them. So I am proud to announce The recipient of the Klaus and Michelle Zechner STEM Scholarship is Natasha Ishak, a freshman physics major at the College of New Jersey. Natasha, yep. Should I hand her the? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, yes. Just don't worry. Yeah. I'm fine with that.
1 minute.
Just talk. Don't listen to them. Stop scaring her.
Hi everyone. So very quick story since I have 60 seconds apparently.
You're fine.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Leah. I got Leah on my side. It's cool. Anyways, so I just want to say something. I have never seen my dad cry before. He's not here today, so that's why I get to talk about him. Anyway, so I've never seen my dad cry, nor have my brothers, nor has my mom. At least I thought that was true. About half a year ago, she had told me that she actually had in fact seen my father cry. And my dad's one of the most strongest individuals I have ever met, and that I know. He actually is a scientist. He came from humble beginnings and he worked his way up. So for me to even hear that something was able to break him was quite extraordinary. And what had actually broken him was finding out about my eyesight. It was when he and my mom learned about my condition where for the first time he had actually broken. And unfortunately, the people who should have been there weren't. We had family, friends. None of them were there really for my parents when they first learned about my eyesight. And unfortunately, a lot of them still aren't here today in support. So I'm fortunate enough that my parents chose to believe in me and not listen to what everybody else around them was saying about how I wouldn't be successful and I would not be able to essentially amount to anything because of my disability. I come from a background and a culture where disability, and that includes blindness, is severely frowned upon. Questions that were asked when I was born by those around my parents were, how is she going to get married? How is she going to go to school? None of that's going to happen for her. And I've heard plenty of things growing up along those lines as well. And I've consistently been faced with always trying to justify odds. And over the last couple of years, it's essentially really started to build up. And sometimes even when you know that you don't need to listen to those voices, you still listen to them. And then I met Joe Ruffalo, NFB. And he essentially kind of started believing in me a little more than I believed in myself. So thanks, Joe. And so this award is severely appreciated simply because it kind of came at a time when I needed it to come.
The next scholarship recipient is another student that I have known for a little bit, but this student, see, I got it right this time, no gender, started as an EDGE intern, and this is where I got to know them, and got to see their fantastic work ethic and their commitment to not just, being a good college student and intern, but their actual commitment to the blindness field in the community. And so I am very happy to say that the 2019 recipient of the Louise and Peter Ficini Memorial Scholarship is another TCNJ student, senior communications major, Jonathan Zoba.
All right, I'll hold a couple words. So here goes nothing. Thank you.
You know, if the people at the head table have more to say than the student, we're gonna run out of time real quick. Oh, whatever. Another student that this one I've known for a lot longer, from when I was a summer staff member. We're ignoring the head table. Summer staff member of the Life 101 program at the commission. I met this student when he was a baby, and he's still a baby as far as I'm concerned. But I have been really proud to watch this student's growth over the last 4 years, and I'm sure he's going to do wonderful things, and I'm sure he's going to continue to be an amazing pillar of the community in the future. So I am very happy to say that the Anne Marie Cook and Doug McCrae, also known as the Edge Scholarship Award for 2019, is going to Henry Young.
I don't have anything prepared, and I don't think I can quite beat Natasha's speech. So, I suppose the best way, because it is an Edge scholarship, I don't feel as guilty talking briefly about Edge. When I first, I'll keep this like 10 words. It's very short. When I first came in, I came in wearing a ripped jeans, a t-shirt that had a Viking on it and said, "Remember, pillage, then burn." And a blue hoodie. And I ended it giving another horribly long speech, except this time in a tux. And I think nothing best represents the change that the NFB and Edge and other blindness organizations have helped me gain in terms of confidence and becoming, Leah said, a pillar of the community and becoming more involved both in school and not than that. So.
So our next scholarship recipient is a national scholarship winner. Yep. See, now the crowd gave it away. There is not enough I can say about this scholarship recipient, except that I'm very, very proud that we've got a fellow Red Hawk up here. Nobody else will cheer for the Red Hawks except for me. I won't even, so, you know. All right, so I am proud to announce that the winner of the Tara Carty Memorial Scholarship and winner of one of this year's national scholarships is junior at Montclair State University, Amy Albin. Yep, right up here. You're very close.
2 words.
Yes.
2 words.
And
Two
there's
words.
microphone. 2 words.
2 words. Joe Ruffalo. Okay. The first person who called me and asked me to join NFB was our president, Joe Ruffalo. So thank you. But the first person who told Joe Ruffalo my name was Barbara Shallett, who was my TBI. So I will miss her, and I'm deeply sorry about her passing. And she was someone who really believed in the Federation, and I hope to carry that tradition forward. Thank you.
Good job.
Okay, last but not least, I'm sure you've all heard her multiple times throughout the day, because who couldn't hear her from Route 1? I get to rip on her forever. She is one of my dear friends and one of my bridesmaids, so again, I get to rip on her forever. A second-year MBA student at Duke University. I am sure this girl is going to change the world one day. The winner of the Gail and Tom Ferry Memorial Scholarship, Mary Fernandez.
Two words.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much. This is an incredible honor. I have to start by thanking my mom, who is in the audience. Everybody cheer. Yara is her name. Her book will be coming out shortly. We're working on it. But my mother has, I was born in Colombia, and my mom came here when I was 2, and I went blind while she was here, and she was all of 26 when she came to the United States. And when she was told that I was blind, her reaction wasn't, I need to go back. It was, I have to bring her here because this is the only way that she's going to have a future. And even though my mother didn't really have the privilege of having Federation, because at the time we didn't have a lot of support for Spanish speakers, something that I'm really passionate about in the Federation that we're doing now, her thing is, you can do it, baby. Go ahead. Like, literally everything I've ever said to her, like, I want to do this. She's like, go ahead, baby. You can do it. And I will never, I can never thank her enough for all her sacrifices and what she has done for me. So thank you. And thank you to this Federation family for believing in me, and Joe Ruffalo for, when I was 14, basically telling me to advocate for myself, like, hey, you want to do a NASA thing? There's Marco Cavano, go talk to him. I'm like, okay. So thank you. And I am so honored to be standing with this class of scholarship winners, because this is it, y'all. It's up to us now. And it is our job and to continue the work that has been laid forward for us. And there is a lot of work to be done as I'm entering into corporate America, into places that blind immigrant women are not seen. It's become very clear to me that we have a lot of work to be done. And it is now our job to make sure that we are reaching our hands constantly outward to bring up the next person who will be the future. So thank you very much.
All right, can we hear it one more time for the 2019 scholarship? Oh, right over here.
Now, everyone, all our, Amy is up here? Okay, stay right there. All our scholarship winners will receive $1,000 each. Now, will receive, what does that mean? That means you have to write a thank you note to Leah. Leah will forward it to those who sponsored your scholarship. We'll collect all of them. We'll put them into our newsletter. We used to not do that. We used to give them their $1,000. And this group would have never done this, I'm sure. But we used to give them $1,000 and ask for a thank you note, and about 3 years later, you get a thank you note. So now we did it this way. Going home in the car, they send a note by email. They want that check the next day. So just send it to Leah, and we'll get you your check. And then we'll give you the email address of the donor so you can thank them too.
Half of them are probably on their phone right now already doing it.
Probably.
That's the way to do it.
Now be a compassionate one. We're going to reprint these with your name on them. So don't just say, thank you, give me money. We heard last night at our fun and stuff, Amy Alvin did some, we're doing our sing-along or karaoke. Amy wrote a song about the Federation and about the convention, and it was so good, I said, you have to sing it at the banquet for those who weren't there last night. So Amy, I want to hand you the microphone. Ready?
So Amy!
So our theme this year is Live the Life We Want, We Got This. So I decided to call this song We Got This. We're working for a new world, working for a new age. We're gonna work for a fair wage. Being blind is not a tragedy. We're living with dignity. We are the NFB, yeah, we got this. So many people telling us no, but they don't know that with our braille, our canes, our hearts and our brains will make it so. With our knowledge and skill, our wish and our will make it so. Oh, oh, oh. We're working for a new world, working for a new day when we can have children who won't be taken away. We don't need eyesight to live a full life. This is a human right. Oh yeah, we got this.
The future is bright with our scholarship winners, Amy Alvin, Natasha, Mary, Henry, and Jonathan, and all those who will come after you. All you students in the audience, apply for the National Scholarship. You apply for the National Scholarship, that automatically makes you a candidate for a state scholarship. The scholarships are out. They're online as we speak, as of November 1. The deadline is always March 31st at midnight. And I usually get about 14 letters to write March 30th. So if you got to do this, vacation's coming up, look at, see what you need to do, and get them in quickly. Quickly. Thank you. Okay. Now it's time to raise some money. Excellent. That was super. And this time it was on, we streamed it. And we got some calls from my son, who is in California watching this stuff. And he said, super job. Super job. Okay. Ellen, bring some stuff up. Nikki, the microphone is yours. We do take money. We do take money that's green. We do take money if you had a laundrette, and the Italians out there, a laundry their money, we'll take that too. I've laundered money before. My wife leaves $5 in her pocket. Mac Biggers here? Mac Biggers. Matt Biggers. All right, way over there. Well, we're going to take some people want to know if we're going to take credit cards. Is that true? He said yes. So there's no limit, Mary. Go for it.
Mom's here. Mom has the credit card, right, Mom?
Okay, we got some.
Mom's here. Let's go, Mom. Come on, Mom. Mary's mom is sitting
We need an
right
opening
there.
bid of $5 for Mary's mom to say, Ruffalo. Speak into the microphone. You gotta speak loud in the microphone.
Just you guys first, the Michael Kors first. So we're gonna start bidding off $30.
What about a color? Can you describe
And the color is white.
Thank you.
Michael Kors purse. It's a white leather Michael Kors purse. And it's small and you can go down the side of your chest.
And Mary, the white pocketbook goes well in California when you're working out there all year long.
Everybody wants to see the purse.
$50.
Yeah. Jen White said 50. Who's that? Somebody just said 100. Who just said 100?
Pacini.
Pacini says 100. I heard that one from over here. It's a gorgeous bag.
So most of the purses we buy from that is
It's not an old bag.
You got to speak into the microphone. Bite that mic.
most of the purses we buy from Michael Kors, they start at $200. So
At
we
least.
did have,
All right, we have Dan Ficini for 100. Do we have 100 a quarter? Mike, Nick, you take over.
$100 from Dan Pacini for this beautiful bag. $100. We're here 105. $100 going once.
Dan said, I love that bag.
Rose is watching that bag right now.
$100 going 3 times. Sold to Dan Pacini.
We got to move these quick. Move them quick. Wine and cheese biscuit, Mary. Wine and cheese biscuit.
Wine and cheese biscuit. 2 minutes. Can I get $25 to start? 25.
No, you got to say, here's what you need. You need to say your name and then the bid. Name and bid. Dina Terrace, 25.
Dina Terrace, 30. We already got 25.
Oh. Dina Terrace, 30.
Fox 30.
We already got 30. Nobody listens here, everybody.
$30 for Dina Terrace.
Fox 35.
40 for Chidi.
Keep going, Rick. Keep going.
50 for Chidi. This must be pretty good. $50 for Dan Pacini. Do I hear 55? I don't hear it. I have $50 for Dan Pacini going once. Do I hear 55? No. No. 50 going once. Twice sold to Dan Pacini for $50.
Hey, Dan Ficini, Dan, to save time, you bought the first 2 items. There's 15 left. Write a check for $5 grand and take it all.
A halo here that will charge all your devices. A halo that will charge all your devices. Figures $20.
Fox 30.
Fox 30. Figures 40. It will charge your iPhones. It will charge everything. We'll charge you up tonight.
Fox 50.
50 for Fox. Figures 60.
I'm at it.
Figures 70. Who's that? Figures 80. We got $80 for figures. We got $80 for this thing. We'll charge everything. We'll charge them up to date. Mary Jo, $95 for Mary Jo. $100 for figures. We charged up. We got $100 going once. $100 going twice. Sold for $100. We have a quilt. Pillows and everything for the bed.
She's already given 50 bucks. She's like, I gave 50 bucks already.
Nicky, shut yours off.
Okay, so we have a quilt. If we need to show it, anybody want to see it?
What is it?
It's a queen size quilt. And,
Set with queen bed.
what color you ever wanted?
We have only bid of $40. Why?
For those who can read 16 point or higher, on your table is a list of auction numbers. So maybe Nikki, you can announce what letter it is, and then someone could read it. So this way you have all the details.
Good idea.
But say the details anyway.
Item number one.
Item Y.
7-piece quilt set.
7 piece. Wow.
Absolutely lovely. Three size comforter.
Blue and white.
Set in a beautifully wrapped
We'll
package.
show it around if anybody wants to see it.
Donated by Joe and Judy.
No, actually, it was donated by Judy's cousin. So whatever.
We have an opening bid of $40. So we only have a bid of 40.
Yes, for 45.
Winton 45.
Do we have $50 here? Who's it? Angela, $50 from Angela. We have $50 from Angela for the 7-piece quilt set. Item Y on your table set. On your tables, we have $50 for this beautiful quilt set. 7 pieces. $50. What do we have?
White 55.
White 55. 60. We have $60. Angela.
Come on, Jen.
We have $60 from Angela. $60 going once. 65 we have. 70 from Angela. She's waiting for this quilt set. She knows how beautiful it is. She wants $70 going once. $70 going twice. Sold to Angela for $70.
This one is if you go somewhere and you get an item like makeup or great mood.
Later on. When you paid, you're gonna have to say Gary Bond. You paid, Gary, you're gonna have to say Gary
Both sides.
Bond. I don't want to.
Both sides. Fancy soap. In front. Oh, you said R.
All right, just go.
Just describe it.
So this one is, you go to, it's called Plumbing Mind. So you would go in there, you pay for the setting, you sit there, and then we usually pick out items like when you come. You eat it, they're going to count for you. So you get a free year worth of the sitting time, and then all you is go in there and pick what you want out and give you that item. And it's worth $180.
Opening bid, what do we have?
Move it away from the seat.
We have $20 from Vicky. It's worth $180. 25 for Dan Pacino.
Mary, where do you go, Mary? I don't live
We have $25 from Dan Pacino. $25 from Dan Pacino.
What is it?
26.
What is it? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
So basically, what you do is
Sonia, they cannot hear you. You have a very lovely, soft voice. Make believe you're yelling at Mac. Dinner's on the table. Yell. We can't. It's all muffled. Nick, your mic is. But just shut one of those mics off and use your mic, Nick, the one that came off of the keyboard. Or bring it up here, wait, it's better.
This is letter E. Letter E. I'm just going to read it to you so you understand what it is.
From the Senior and Technology Division, it's a gold bag. The bag is a red canvas Everest backpack filled with emergency items, including flashlight and batteries, radio, and more batteries, glow stick, poncho, and blanket, and more. Jamie, I hear you laughing.
Now that's very laughing.
So we have an emergency backpack here. Everything that you need. Everything you need to get through this convention tomorrow. What time is breakfast?
8:45.
No, breakfast is early. The meeting starts at 8:45. Quarter to 9, I'm sorry.
What can you get for this emergency backpack?
It's an emergency.
Winton, $30.
Who's that?
Winton.
Winton says 30.
We have $30 for this emergency backpack. $30 for this emergency backpack.
30 for the emergency backpack.
We have $30 going once. Twice.
$40. G Fox.
$40.
Gene Fox. 40. It's Gary Fox. What? Gary G. Same difference.
$40 from Gary Fox.
45 Whitten.
45 Whitten.
We take it seriously. Fox says,
Paddles up.
We have 45? 45 going once. Whitten. Twice. 50 Melendez. We have $50 for Linda Melendez. $50 going once. Twice. Sold to Linda Melendez.
we finally got rid of that. We had it for 3 years ago. We finally got rid of that.
Come on up, David.
What do you need? Hold on.
Tell your wife, see you later.
Yeah, exactly.
We're also David here. What do you got? Who's ready for Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
We've got a gourmet grocery basket donated by ShopRite.
One letter.
Anything.
For pumpkin pie surgery.
Move the amplifier. Move the amplifier.
Yeah, face it that way. Face it the other way.
Usually people don't want to hear you. All right, now people can open anything. You got this, everything you need from ShopRite. Who likes ShopRite? Who likes the egg and pig? Never mind.
They're out of business. They do it.
Stop and shop. Stop and shop. All right. I think the microphone's unplugged. Can I have the starting bid of $30?
Well, what's in it?
Okay, what's in it? We got spicy pumpkin pie mix, chocolate turkey. Chocolate turkey. Anne Marie, what's in it?
Hey, go back and go here. Right here.
Come on, show how women do it.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. Okay, everyone, here's what's in the ShopRite basket.
What do you got, Emery?
Okay, so Thanksgiving is coming up, so there's lots of things in there that you will find useful. There's 2 pie shells, cans of pumpkin, which you would use for pumpkin pie, the spices that would go into the pumpkin pie, like ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon. There's a chocolate turkey and paper plates that you could use for dessert.
We have an opening bid of $30. $30. Who wants a chocolate turkey? Everybody likes chocolate turkey. You got the caffeine and the tryptophan. You're gonna eat it. You're gonna get all nervous. You're gonna fall asleep. Right? You're gonna have a nervous condition. You're gonna have palpitations. But you're gonna feel good about yourself because you donated money to the NFB. Here's $30. Where's David Cheating for Christ's sake? Where's Vicky? Where's he? Where's Vicky? Huh? Castellano 35. Do I hear 40? 40 for cheese. Okay. What do you got back here? Do I hear 50?
They're all laughing over there.
Do I hear 50?
Castellano 45.
Castellano, 45. She wants the chocolate turkey. Bill's excited about the chocolate turkey. All the things Bill's gonna do with the chocolate turkey. You can't imagine what Bill's gonna do with that chocolate turkey. He's a filthy animal. It's what he knows. You can't let Karen have that at home. Who knows? What'll happen? 55 for Puccini. He's helping her out. Look at Dan Puccini. Well, he's 32. You don't know what Dan's gonna do with that. Listen, you can't let him take that turkey home. Who's gonna make the pie? What's gonna happen? Do I hear 60? I need a 60. Somebody help Dan Puccini. What do you got? 45 for Castellano. No, Puccini. 50 for Puccini. Do I hear 55? I need a 55. It's a chocolate turkey. Everybody loves chocolate turkey. Castellano, 55. Bill's desperate. Bill's desperate. Oh my God, this is horrible. Bill wants he's gonna make that pie tonight. Oh my God. He's gonna put it all in the microwave. He don't care what happens. Is there a 60? I need a 60. Yeah, where's the team? 55 going once. 55 going to Janet. No. You say something stupid? Oh yeah. You know, people in Hawaii love turkeys. Chocolate turkeys in Hawaii, very popular. Yeah. Come on. No? No. 55 going once. 55 going twice. So, 55. All right. What we got next? Lovely. Very nice cheese basket, cheese and wine basket in a bowl. Let's see here. Let's have a sip of this. Let's have a taste. This is a delicious. Oh, you're gonna cook in this bowl. There's olives in this. It's a nice big metal bowl. There's olives, wine, cheese, pepperoni, and other surprises. Now, I'm not able to get into the other surprises, but you know, let your imagination run wild for a minute. This would be sushi with that turkey. How much will one buy? Do I hear an opening bid of $25? Written $25. I need another bid. 30. I need something. 30. Who's that? Brianna from South Carolina. Yeah. South Carolina. 35. We're doing 35 from Massachusetts. We're gonna have an international. We're gonna bring bit more noted. 40 from South Carolina. Oh my God. South Carolina. They don't even have wine in South Carolina. I don't even know if they have cheese. 45. Massachusetts. Massachusetts has 45. Massachusetts. All right, 45 for Massachusetts. 45, wine and cheese, wine and cheese. You know what you can do with this tonight? You can drink it. That's what you can do with it. Fernandez, $50. Mom's got the credit card. I'm feeling good tonight. The credit card is out. It's slipping. I don't know what I'm going to do with that credit card. $50 for Fernandez. She's going to Duke. She's got a lot of loot. She got money. Oh, yeah.
I was going to share it with you.
$50. So we got 3 people bid. South Carolina, North Carolina, North Carolina. Where is that? The left coast? The left side? $50 going once. $50 for Massachusetts. $50 for the first vice president of Massachusetts. She thought she wants some wine and cheese. Who wants a whole? Hey, let the guy from Hawaii go. Look at that, Hawaii. You don't have no bowls like that in Hawaii. Bamboo. We got bamboo in Hawaii. They don't have bowls like that. $55 for Massachusetts. Going once. Pinelli 60. He made that wine. He makes better wine than that, I think. Come on, what's he done that for? He makes better wine and cheese than that. In his house, he takes his shoes off. I don't know about his socks, but he takes his shoes off. He made that. $60 for Fontanelli, going once. Come on. Fernandez, come on, you got all the loot. Cisco. $60 going once. Anybody else? $60 going twice. $60 for Mr. Fontanelli. What else? Oh, Mary Ann's gonna read this here. This is something Dan Pacini wants this, okay? I'm telling you right now, Dan's gonna bid the lip in his pocket. He's gonna bid on this. What's in this, man? The potpourri?
Potpourri basket, especially gifts for elderly women.
And elegant women, Dan. Elegant women. And whatnots. Oh, now listen, I'm not even allowed. Joe said, Dave, whatever you do, don't talk about the whatnots. So I'm not even allowed to talk about the whatnots. But, you could just imagine what's nots and have-nots and haves and have-nots and whatnots. Potpourri, I would say this basket at least has got to start at $25. You're opening to $25. Potpourri. Listen, I've been at this convention a long time, and there is a bunch of people who stink. And this would be fantastic. I don't know if it's the shoes, if it's the socks, I don't know what it is. 25? Who's that? Yes, V, 25. Sometimes those state buildings stink. I worked in a lot of state buildings and they're musty, the bathroom, people, they work at the desk, they take their shoes off. Put your shoes on, I want to say. What are you doing? Taking your shoes off at work. Be ashamed of yourself. $25. $25 for me. 30. You got 30. And you look. Look, I don't want to offend anybody. You might not stink, but I know you know somebody who does. Right? You know. Now I'm not going to point at any fingers because it's not nice to point fingers. But you know as well as I do, and you might be sick with them. Right now, and they stink. They stink, and they make them believe it's the dogs. They say, no, I think somebody jumped on the table. No, it's you. So, $25 for me. Do I hear 30? I need a 30. The guy from Hawaii. The guy from Hawaii. Yeah, no, don't be offended. Don't be offended. Back up a little bit. $25 going once. $25 going twice. Then you're gonna smell the best of anybody in this room. Congratulations. All right. What do you got next? Vera Bradley. I used to shop at Bradley's. Travel bag. And Joe, I think Judy wants it. No, you can't see it.
What color is it?
What's the opening bid?
What color is it?
$187. What color is it there? There. It's flowers. Flowers. It's purple flowers with a green background. Isn't that sound lovely? Great. They're rushing up. They're rushing. If they're rushing me now, Joe, tell them to slow down.
Ruffalo 100.
We got a beautiful purple flowered bag. Ruffalo $100. Vera Bradley, right? This you don't get this. You don't get this at J.C. Penney's, right? No way.
It's Vera Bradley.
We got a Bradley, so.
The lady Vera that worked at Bradley, so. 120 Ruffalo.
120 Ruffalo. He's been here against himself. Up there. What do we got? Where's Jen White when you need it? Going once. 120 for Joe Ruffalo. He's gonna put the chocolate cookie in his bag. Joe, you better not let him get it, Joe. He'll ruin this bag. He'll ruin it. He's gonna put the cookie in. It's gonna get greasier. He's gonna carry it everywhere.
150 Ruffalo. $170. 200.
I think it's 210.
2 and a quarter.
2 and a quarter. Going up like there's not free speech. Going up so we can hire you from fundraiser. 420. Hey, Debbie. Rick Fox. Rick Fox wants it too, I think. 235 from the team. 235 going once. 235 going again.
265.
Dan hasn't spent. I don't want to. I'm not trying to cause any trouble. But Dan, let me tell you, I know nothing about Dan. He hasn't spent his communion money yet. Okay? Now I'm not trying to start trouble. But he hasn't spent his communion money. So Dan, you want to spend your communion money tonight? 275, Dan said. He's gonna finally spend his communion money. He's gonna
300. Wait, I need more hours for the Edge program.
Rosa. Rosa, can you Rosa, can you please tell me describe your gift?
We already got it.
So then, can you describe it so I can make Dan buy it? Where are you, Olivia? It does smell good.
Doesn't it smell lovely, David? Oh my God, it was me, but you know, this is a basket we're talking about here. It's beautiful. This is a spa basket, guys. Girls, if you love spa, if you love organic, if you love natural, this is the basket for you. What's in it? Let's talk about what's in it. You got a beautiful organic body polish. Body polish is awesome because when you exfoliate your skin, and it not only does it exfoliate your
Keep
skin,
it clean, keep it clean.
Hey, Joe, hey, Joe. All right, you keep your skin clean, but you moisturize with beautiful oils. And if you want soft, supple skin, baby, this is a basket for you.
Dan's counting his money.
It has body polish, it has lavender soap, it has bath bombs if you love taking those luxurious baths, which we need more of in this world for de-stressing. There is a Live Your True Essence book from Rosa Santiago. So this basket is amazing, I'm telling you. So let's get up in here, baby. $100.
100, right? Thank you, Rosa. Good job. All right. So listen, Rosa said this is $100 value. It's in a nice, beautiful box, and it's got all. It smells really fantastic. Lavender soap and Rosa's book, certainly. Does anyone have $100? Well, you're $100. What do we got? What do we got? Look, we got to fund the federation. It's in a great investment. What do you got?
Also, if you can't read the book, we get an e-form for you, so you can read the book as well.
Oh, you're so kind, Tony. Very good. Access equals success, right? Access equals success. Do I hear $50? Do I hear 50? Give me 50. Give me a 50. Vicker, 75. Woo, Vicker, 75. He's going to be smooth and polished. He's going to be so slippery, he might slip out of his shoes. Be careful. Yeah. Gotta be careful. Oh, he smells so good. He's gonna kiss himself. He's gonna smell so good. Do I hear 75, right? Do I hear an 80? I need an 80. Give me an 80. Give me a nice round number, 80. Do I hear an 80? What's that? You. Me? Oh, I said 80, but I was busy. Do I hear an 80? I need an 80. 75 going once. 75 going twice. I need 80. Come on, one person. Give me an 80. Who wants to smell good? Yeah. 80 going 75 going once. 75 going twice. 75 going right, friend. You get a little polished up. Polish your shoes. Can you hear this? Matt?
Unicorn black purse, okay, with a set of real unicorns that you can no longer get because they're not available in Target, okay? Union Bork. Now, how many of you ladies have owned a Union Bork purse?
Yeah!
You know you don't get one less than $250.
Yep, right.
So you want a good starting price for this Union Bork.
Yes, ma'am. I thought you were saying Mork and Ork. Remember that show, Mork and Ork? But that was an old show. Oh, that was Mork and Mindy, right? Oh, is that what that was? Mork from Ork? Oh, wow, I don't know. Mork and Mindy. Oh, okay. Do I have an opening bid? Give me an opening bid. Yes, here we go. Nice. It's black. It's black. It's coming around the table. Oh, yes, sir. 30 opening bid from Massachusetts. $30 opening bid. Oh, that's 40. I hear 40. 50, Maryland, 50. 55, Massachusetts. 60 Vickers. I I need a 70. 70, Maryland, Jen White. 80 for Biggers. I need a 90. I need a 90. Oh, great. It's a $200 value. $90. Right? Half there, there you go. $90.
Come on, B, you got this. You work now.
Dan wants to see.
They don't pay you enough. Oh. We're still passing it around.
We're passing it around. Passing it around. It does. That is everything. What? Yes. Yes. 90 from Jen White. $90. Jen White. Pass it over to Dan. Next table. Over here. We're at $90. By $90, you want to touch it, it's 100. Touch it, it's 100. You want to touch it, it's 100. Dan, touch it, it's 100. Yeah. We're at $90. We're at $90. It's a $200 value, not including the Uno cards. Not including the Uno cards. $90. $90 going once. 95 for Puccini. I knew it. He's going to put that chocolate turkey in there. He's Milton. He can't do that. 95. Oh, the cards too. Oh my. Biggers 100. Oh my God. Biggers $100. 105 for Dan, the man for cheating. Come on, Jen. Bigger 110. 115. Come on, Bill. 115 going once. I need 120. 120 for Bigger. I need a 125. 125 for the cheese. Gonna put the turkey in it. Oh my God! Just take the 50 in. 135. 135. I need a 150. I need a 150. Who's leaving me 150? I need a 150. 140. I said 150. I'll take the 140. The 140. 145. 150. I told you that 150. 150. Come on, Mary. Come on. Where's the guy from Hawaii? He needs a purse. I thought everybody in Hawaii had a nice purse. Yeah, no, okay. I thought you were a comedian, right? No. Yeah, a comedian doesn't have a purse. What comedian doesn't have a purse? What do we have to do? 160. 160. It's a $200 value or 150. We're a $200 value, not including Uno cards. 150 going once. And 150 going twice. Sold for 150. Good job.
Color Me Mine and Painting Yourself Ceramic Studio. This is a year membership. It's for two. It's $150 value. So you pick out whatever it is you want to paint. You paint it, they fire it, and then you take it home.
Fired? Who's getting fired? All right. That pissed me off mentioning that. Okay, now who donated this very cool gift? Central Jersey chapter. So this is a $150 value for two, and this is a really neat gift for somebody. This is, well, if you were listening, you would have heard, but you weren't. So it is for two, and it is a paint your own ceramic kit, and
also you get the year membership, and all you do is walk into the store, pick out what you want to color, and you pay for that. That's it. It's called Color Me Mine. They have it in other states, so there could be other places. I don't know where any other locations are.
It's a $150 value, and I'd love to get a starting bid of $40. Well, here's 40. 40 for Bigger. 50 for Puccini. 60. 70. Do they even have stuff you can paint in Hawaii? Seashells, right? You paint seashells there. But no, this is different. This is the real world here. And you paint bowls and platters. Yeah, what are we up to? $80. $80. $150 value. We're not even 2/3 there. 85. Good job. $85. We're gonna paint stuff. We're gonna have a great day. Paint our toenails. We'll paint it whatever we want when we get there. $85. $85 going once. $85. The back of white is one. $85 going twice. Massachusetts? No. Maryland, South Carolina? 85 going twice. Sold for 85. You can take the chocolate turkey, Dan. This is the way to do the best. Yes, if you're over there home with essential oils, you can take the turkey. This is very special. You're welcome.
I just want to say, you remember that gentleman that sang the songs in our meetings today, the Boscov songs. Well, he's an artist in Tom's River, and he does Sharpie artwork. And I am gonna, if anybody can see that work, it's incredible. It's hard to believe that a blind person painted it, but we know you can live the life you want, and you do live beyond your expectations. It's Jerry Fontanelli.
Mr. Fontanelli!
$100, and that's from Ellen. Oh!
We're starting at $100 for Ellen.
Oh, very
good. Can you describe any of the pictures, Miss Ellen?
All I know is that I showed my sister some of his artwork, and she said, "This is incredible."
Good, Ellen. Would you, Carol? Would you?
So this is a framed piece of art, and it has 9 sketches of flowers. Little sketches put together to make one big piece of art. It's probably about 15 by 18, something like that. And the flowers are in pink, purple, and red, and yellow, with green leaves, which is really very, very pretty and charming. Completely framed in a beautiful beaded frame.
And so I would say it's probably a 15 by 20 frame.
What color
And
frame?
What color frame, Carol?
Black with tarnished silver bead.
Black with tarnished silver beading. And we have a starting bid of $100. And this is Mr. Fontanelli. Thank you so much for this. So this is a piece of art that you're gonna cherish for a long time. We have a opening bid of a $100 for Ellen. Can I have a one? I hear 125. We're here 125. It's a beautiful piece of art. Ellen started at $100. We have an opening bid of $100 for Mr. Fontanelli. Mr. Fontanelli, I sat with him tonight at dinner. He was telling me some fantastic jokes, none of which I can tell you. But if his jokes, the picture that is with the jokes, I'm sure it's lovely. $100, starting at $100. We're here 125. 125. We're here 125.
110
Castellano. 110 Castellano. 110 Castellano. We're here 120. We're here 120. 120 Ellen. 120 for Ellen. 120 for Ellen. Beautiful. Ellen, thank you. 120. We're here 130. 130. I need a 130. Mr. Fontanelli's wonderful piece of art. It's gonna go in your house. You're gonna give it. It's gonna be a family heirloom. I guarantee it. 125 Castellano. The bidding war is on, Joe. 125. Ellen, help me out. 130 for my friend Ellen. 130 Carol. It's starting to hurt. All good negotiations. Everybody hurts. Go ahead. I hurt a little. Hurt so good. What was that? 135. Hurt so good. 135. 140 for my friend Ellen's hurt even worse. I guess I had some of that slippery lotion that's hurt me. So 130. I hear 140. I hear 140. I need a 150. I need a 150. I need a 150. 150, 150. Was that too much? Yeah. Even Linda said I was too much. Yeah, you know it's too much. Linda said it's too much. Linda's usually, yeah. Linda said it's too much, and I'm sure it was too much. What are we up to? 140, 140, I need a 145, 145, 145. 145, 140 for Linda. 145. Oh, amazing. Go back to work. 145, 145. 150, 150. Oh my God, she got it. She wants it bad. She wants it bad. Hurts so good. 150, 150 going once. 150 going twice. Ellen, congratulations. Is the bar still closed? What's going on here? The bar is open. The bar is open. What do we got next? And how did I get roped into this? Yeah, guess so, right? What's next?
What about the Wegmans
Oh,
gift
but
card?
wait, there's more.
What about the Wegmans gift card?
The Wegmans gift card. What do we got here, lady?
Yes, I don't know, but
Okay, this is a basket, and in the basket is, they're from Testing Hills, scented the vanilla almond bubble bath foot lotion, body scrub, body butter. Yes, the butter, plush slippers, shower massager, foot polish, and sponge.
You want the foot hummer. Oh, God, you want the foot hummer. Oh, now we've got a voice. It was the butter. Butter, huh? All right. 40? Oh, Massachusetts says 40.
Yes, for 50.
Oh, $50. She's going to smell so good that steak don't even stink. She's going to smell so good that they still the butter. What? 45 or 45. 50. Did I hear 50?
I said 55.
55?
Massachusetts is trying out 50.
Oh my God, Massachusetts, you can't let that happen. Come on, come on.
Of course not the Red Sox fans. Gas was
$60.
$60.
$60. 61 for the Hawaiian guy. Okay. 61. Butter, we got, who wants a little butter for your slippers? You know, when you got butter in your slippers out, it's going to be a good night. $60. $60. Only good things happen when you got your slippers and some butter. Only good things happen. 64. Oh, of course, I said slippers and butter, man. That's it. Oh, you got it, right, man? Oh, I knew $65 for the butter and the slippers. 65 going once. Oh, the slippers, so you just got the slippers. 65 going once. Oh, the massager too. Mom's gonna pay for it. I don't even know what I think of that. We're gonna talk about that after the banquet. 65 going. Mom, I want to talk to you. 65 going once. 65 going twice. 75 for who? Hillman, $75. Oh my God, oh my God. Hillman, 75. Do I hear 80? I need an 80 for some slippery butter and slippers. $80. Everybody wants slippery butter and cookies. Come on, Dave. Dave, you know. You know, Dave, what can happen with this? This is a box of fun here, folks. 27 minutes of your life, 80 hours going once. 85 for me. Good job, B. 85 going twice. Where's Fachini? Fachini. There's butter in here, Fachini. I mentioned that. Be the best 17 minutes of your life, Fachini. 85 going once. 85 going twice. Sold for 85.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. I didn't go.
All right.
Yeah. It will change my life.
Now that's the leg and stick card.
I did not have any
Carol.
I didn't want to do it for myself.
So, I mean,
Oh my God,
I got a picture here. I got a picture, a framed picture.
Who's it of, David?
Of Joe Ruffalo.
Oh.
And what I don't know if I dare to ask, Joe, what's doing in this picture? I think he's in the bathtub.
Is he wearing slippers?
The slippers and the butter is in the bathtub, and he's never looked happier. And he's got the turkey with him. That's why he looks so happy. And look, he's got the chocolate turkey. This is art, folks. Oh, he's in a suit. He's in a suit in his bathroom?
Oh my God.
Oh, he's in his birthday suit. Oh, get the hoodie tie. Joe, it's this picture of Joe wearing a hoodie tie. I don't know what you do. What do you think about all this? Oh, no. Oh, yes, here you go, man. Here you go, Master. That's it? And the butter and the turkey. And the cigar. He looks very happy. Over there now, the Russian Joe, the Russian again. Did I start the bit? Can I opening get 25? Opening get 25?
Castellano,
50 for Castellano. Hey, who made the nice picture of Joe? Fachini. Fachini, you gotta make a nice picture of Joe in the bathroom with somebody. 55. No, I know. I he did a nice picture for the bathroom, and he's going to put it in there with the flowers. Oh, he didn't get the flowers. Oh, hey, you take down the picture of the Pope, and the person. Now that's an idea. Pope and a pepper, right? That's going to be a good one. I used to go to a place in Pittsburgh. The Pope was right in the middle of the table. He sat around. Lazy Susan. Yeah, everything with cheese.
The lazy Pope?
50 for Castellano. Here's 60. Here's 60.
Castellano, 75.
75 Castellano. I don't blame you. It's a bargain at 75. If you sign it, we'll go to 80. 75. 75. 6. Is he signed it with a 6 inch? Oh my goodness.
Castellano, 100.
She'll never get it. She'll never get it. $100. Going once.
Castellano, 125.
Yes. 125 and a turkey.
I got the turkey.
You said that very proudly.
I'm missing the butter, but I got the turkey.
And the turkey. And the butter and the slippers.
Don't even think about it, Fachini.
Sweetie, you don't got the money they got for you. No.
Even if you put your confirmation money, you're not
Yeah,
gonna
he still got his
get
confirmation money. He still got his confirmation money, Sharon.
Serena's confirmation
He opened his wallet. George Washington's got sunglasses on. Right? And it's either,
What's the bid? What's the bid?
130 for Pacini. You know, his deal works every time. That's great. 130, 130. Well, you're 150. You're 150. 150 for Castellano. Come on. He's got his communion money and his confirmation money. Going once. Going once.
175.
175 for Castellano. 175. Going once.
All right, 200.
It's a nice picture. It's an 8x10. Come on, Dave. His confirmation communion money is fourth birthday money. Going once.
Carol gonna beat Carol? Let's see.
Going twice. Carol, thank you very much.
Okay, so this is the Ruffalo Family Motivational Books. 2 books by Rick Ruffalo and the one and only famous Joe's Joe book. Yeah.
Oh, we got 3 books in here. We got 3 books in here. With the motivational trio, we got a joke. What do you got? Mary Jo 50. $50, Mary Jo. Wow, well, there's a lot of jokes in here. That's like $1 a joke. Come on, $50. $50. Are you 60? Are you 60? You got the slippers, you got the picture of Joe, now you got a joke for him. $60. Are you 60? $50 going once. $50 going twice, Mary Jo. $60 over there. Who said that? Jennifer. 65. Woo! This is a lot of good jokes in here. Great stuff. 3 books. $70. $70. Good job. 75. 75. You're 80. Give me an 80. I need 100. Nice 100. 85. 85. I'll take 85. Number 90. 90 over there. 90 over there. Right here, 95. 95. 100. $100. Keep going. Keep going. 110. 105. 105. I need 110. I need 110. 125. 125? No. Oh, no. You don't know. I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. 105 going once. 105 going again. 105. Sold. Congratulations. A blood pressure cuff that talks. Now listen, I'll tell you one thing I know about Joe Ruffalo. He doesn't have high blood pressure, he causes it. And it's illegal. This thing will persecute in 2 languages. At least, this is certainly, at least this is a $40 value. This is a great device. It talks, it's going to tell you your blood pressure as well as your pulse. And if you buy the butter, your blood pressure. So, can I go to 25? Take a shine. 25. 30. 30 Massachusetts. 30, 35. You 35. 40 Dagenshine. Thank you. 40 Dagenshine. 45 Massachusetts. 50 Dagenshine. Keep it going. This is a great device. All those people who cause high blood pressure, you want to prove it. Here, put this on. blood pressure cup. Oh, but this one is for your wrist. This one is for your wrist. It's definitely smaller. Definitely smaller. This is for your wrist. I say opening bid, starting bid, $20. $20. $20. It's a blood pressure wrist cup. Yep. So this is by Label City. $20 starting bid. Go here 20. Go here 25. Go right here 20, 25, 20, 25. C. It's no, it's your blood pressure too. Blood pressure too, right? Yes, blood pressure. Wrist, blood pressure. Go here 25. What's your 25? Go here 20. Go here 20. I need to open bid. Who's that? $20. Go here 20. Go here 25. 25. 25. Come on, Dan. He goes high blood pressure. You want all those spicy yelling things? You monitor it. $20. $20 going once. $20 going twice. Sold. $20. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good job. It's a great deal. We got a who likes Alexa? I got a Fire Stick with Alexa. Yes, I do. You wouldn't believe it if you wouldn't believe it. You want to touch it? All right, I got a Fire Stick with Alexa. I was checking. You want to see first? All right, Fire Stick with Alexa. This is great. We love Alexa. It makes everything so much easier. It really makes things easy to use for folks who use assistive tech. Do I have an opening bid of $30?
$30.
This is at least a $60 purchase.
$30.
Who's that?
Betty Herman.
$30. Right here, 35. I'm 35 for Fire Stick with Alexa. Who's that? 35 back there. 35. What's your 40? All right, Frank. Be Frank. I go your 40. Go your 40. Go your 40. I need a 40. We got a Fire Stick with Alexa built in. Fire Stick with Alexa built in. $60 value. Netflix, all those things. Got all the flicks. Why here going once? 40, right? Going twice. Sold. $40. You got a great deal there. Good for you. Frank. Joe, who got that, Joe? Frank. Yep. Footer. All right. Sonia. Down over there. Valerie. Sonia. Yeah. Oh, we got a nice bag for the seeing eye. A water bottle holder.
We've got a hat.
Hat.
A wallet.
And a waterproof bottle just in case you step in the pool. So this is a nice bag. This is a nice bag and a nice hat from the seeing eye. And this is an absolute. It comes Sonia. Oh no.
Was that on the door prize table? I think that's the door prize. Yeah, I have 2 door prizes ready to go before we leave tonight, and then we have some for tomorrow. I can make them tomorrow.
So you want to save this for tomorrow? You see my bag and hat? Yeah. I'm going to save this for tomorrow. You have to be at the meeting tomorrow at 8:45 or 8:45. Which one, Joe? 8:45. Well, we got to be in the meeting at 8:45. That's everything?
I'm sorry. There's a Wegmans card.
Yeah. The Wegmans card. We want the Wegmans card.
Wegmans card.
Oh, that was yesterday? With a jacket? What is it? Oh. Hey, Carol.